Hi, this is Mish, or Mick, whatever you want to call me, and today I'm going to talk about technology and how it might just be the illusion of change rather than actually bringing something new to the table. So what do I mean by this? I know we have cell phones. I can check Facebook to see how my blog's doing. I can record music on my laptop. I can email someone. I can grocery shop online. I can have a drone fly over and film whatever I want. But are these new technologies really bringing anything new to the table? Everyone talks about the selfie generation and how shameless it is, but is it any different than your grandparents or your parents on their honeymoon asking someone to take a picture of them so they can put in their scrapbook? Instagram's pretty much just a digital scrapbook where you can display all your pictures. Facebook is a media outlet. It's where you can put out content, and you can, just like how I put out my blogs. Amazon is just a more efficient way of shopping. But are these technologies bringing any real value to us? Or are they just allowing us to consume at an even higher rate? That's what I think about, because what really has changed? Sure, there's hybrid cars and electric cars, but 99% of cars are still running pretty much the exact same way they did in the 40s. Or what's really all that different from the Ford Model T? There was more change between the horse and carriage and the Ford Model T than there is with cars in the 50s towards cars today. Yeah, you could say that there's satellite radio and you can have Bluetooth, but what are those technologies really? They're not huge leaps and bounds, they're just evolutions of what we always had. So, email. Okay, there's email, but we wrote letters before. Cell phones, there were pay phones before, and before that just landlines, and before that telegraphs, or whatever the hell those were. So what I'm getting at is the way it impacts our society and the way people meet online or the way they post to Instagram is almost frowned upon when it's just the exact same thing it always was, just done in a more up-to-date fashion. It's almost like it creates the illusion of this hyper change in the world that creates a generation gap, which in my eyes is only a distraction. Because it's always been the same thing. We're just doing it faster now. And so is the human race really benefiting from having a message that can travel, from here to China in 1 second versus 2 weeks via boat? I don't know. It's definitely an evolution in the technology, but in terms of the way it helps mankind, I don't really think it does anything. All this time and effort is spent on developing technology to allow us to consume more efficiently and learn our trends more efficiently, just so we can buy more, essentially. But technologies that haven't been touched in a while, that are definitely left in their horse and carriage phase, like education. The vast amounts of the biggest populations in the world, the ones who reproduce the most, are the least educated. And there's no effort, or it doesn't seem like there's any hyper advanced technology that's leading people to teach themselves. I have the ability to go online and learn from YouTube, and I have the ability, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to browse online and see what I want to learn about, whole foods and nutrition and philosophy. I can go in and actively search those things, but for a lot of people, they don't even know that's an avenue. They think that they don't have enough money to go to college, so they just are stuck in the place they were born in, and they can't learn or improve, so they consume. So the poorest people have iPhones, and they're spending money to get those phones, and they have those phone plans, and they're all on Facebook, and they're all on Instagram, and they're just consuming, and no one is really using the medium to actually teach someone anything. If a quarter of the time was put in to teaching people how to teach themselves and showing them that you could really do whatever you want if you weren't so distracted consuming crap you didn't need, or teaching people that if they ate the right way, they wouldn't have to be on monthly prescription pills or any of that crap that holds them stuck in whatever position they're in, it would be a whole different ballgame. But what I'm seeing, the real problem here is that there's just so much time and effort put into technology that just allows us to spend at a hyper rate, and that keeps spinning that hamster wheel. And I know I was in that hamster wheel for a long time. I was a, top-notch, cool dude, business guy. And more was the answer to everything. Okay, I spent this much on this fancy thing this month. Okay, that means I have to make this much next month to cover that. But it was a never-ending loop, and I got stuck in it until one day I just got so fed up. I stopped doing everything that was my normal day-to-day. I stopped drinking. I stopped hanging out with certain people. I quit my routines, and almost like I started from scratch, because it just didn't make sense that so much of my time was going into something that just kept me, imprisoned in the wheel. And all I'm really saying here is I'm not hating on technology. I love the fact that I can buy stuff on Amazon that's not available locally. And I love the fact that Uber provides me a taxi service that's clean and safe and accountable. Sure, all that stuff is great, and those services are great. And it all comes down to discipline on how we use stuff. But if there was more of an emphasis put on educating and using the current tools to educate us about a plethora of things, and make it as easy to learn about nutrition or philosophy or state of mind as it is to keep up with the Kardashians, then I think we'd be in a way different world. But that's just me. That's just my rant, and I'm just talking about it to see if you agree with me. Because at the end of the day, all this hype about the new gizmos that come out every month, all they're really doing is accelerating consumption, or making things that we always did faster and more at our fingertips. So are we better off emailing than writing a letter? I don't know. It sure is faster. And if you want to be competitive in the world, you have to be as up to date as possible. So everyone has no choice. If you want to be competitive and have your business and keep up with society, you have to be on these measures. But is going off grid all that bad either, if you can figure out a way to make that work? Just food for thought. Let me know what you think. This is a subject that can go in so many different directions, but it definitely fascinates me, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. So have yourself a good one, and have a nice day. Later.